An ultimate Maverick guide, from basics to more advanced things. Subtitles and timestamps are available. Maverick is a free speed 1 armor, and as for the loadout, you will want to go for the M4. Claymore versus Stunt depends on the team's loadout. I usually prefer Flashbang because it allows me to do more stuff when solo queuing, but Claymore is definitely a good secondary gadget to take. As you could see so far, in neither of the video I was speaking about the attachment because these are really preference. Whoever tells you to pick exactly attachment, they are probably wrong. With that in mind, he has a gadget that is very easily counterable. It is a blowtorch, of course. He can melt reinforcements, bandage rigged, mute aimed, kite electrocloud, or you name it. He can also melt soft walls, hatches, reinforced hatches. People. Yeah, but you don't want to do that, because you deal 4 per tick. He sends his regard to barbed wires, blooper cameras. You can melee both of these as well, so what's the point? Evil eyes. Well, you can't melee these, right? Deployable shields, but no loaded destroyable gadgets like ADSs, prismas, and more can be destroyed. Maybe if a barbed wire was banded or kaided, you can destroy with a blowtorch without making any sound when trying to melee it. When meleeing an electrolyzed barbed wire, well, it will deal damage to you and you will scream like a little girl. You can destroy a castle barricade within 3 full seconds, any shape. Or you can have 8 murder holes located by the castle barricade. The ninth one means the castle barricade will be dead. As you can see, now with the utility I got, my canister is not full. However, do not reload it. Reloading is equal to throwing away the left part of the fuel. This will sometimes mean a difference between a reinforced hatch being opened or not. Oh, you can deny the mirror window with the 4 holes. Thanks to Wrote for this, and John Snipes. But isn't that kind of asking to die? If there is no one by the mirror window, why don't you simply move in? Since you know what the blowtorch does, like destroying alibi prismas, and as I said, is very easily counterable, you can counter him by just shooting Maverick in the head, just like every other operator. And yeah, that's the only counter. No need to ask me down in the comment section for additional counters. Maybe Kai sometimes counters him. We'll get into that. So, how to use his torch? How to counter his own counter, which is denying from the bullets. Well, for this you need to have a huge map knowledge. You need to know what is after the reinforced wall, which angle can defenders take on you, and then obviously you want to torch the part from where you cannot be or less likely you will be picked. That is usually done by opening a hole within an angle, like on the bank CO walls. Have an angle towards the windows in the CO, as there is no way that there will be a defender, and simply do the holes. That way, the other part of reinforcement covers you from being picked. However, if you still struggle with the map knowledge, then droning will be great, and if there is no drone hole nearby, why not making a drone hole for you? It's literally just one hole. You can throw a drone in it, as well as any projectile or any grenade. I will recommend making the hole higher or at the bottom, where enemies cannot kill you through the hole. Maverick destroys bandit tricking, and his counters well, obviously bandit and mute. Jammer on the reinforcements. Don't list him as a counter to Maestro because you usually won't be able to read that close to the evil eye. Before I go to another ways of using the torch while repelling, some of you might think, why would anyone be using Maverick to open CO walls? Do they have Termite or Hibana? Well, you have 2 reasons. One is maybe either of them was banned, got killed, or simply your team didn't pick them. Or 2, Kaid is keeping the wall electrolyzed, therefore you cannot find the claw with the Maverick. And how to open a big something hole on a reinforced wall? Make 2 parallel lines, and whilst making the one, make sure that the metal dropped down, And once you do it, start making the other parallel line. Again, it's always better to start opening the wall from where you cannot be picked from. Start making lines above you, and then the other line depending on which angle you want to make. Once you do it, you will leave the wall with the soft part, and any soft breacher can deal with it. Or I have something better. You can ask Buck previously to first open up the soft part, and then you can torch the wall. Then you will immediately open the wall, as the soft part was already dealt with. Similar, but not a similar principle can be done by making vaultable or crouchable holes on reinforcements. That takes less than a full torch for one. However, there won't be any soft part, as you destroy the whole circle and not just two parallel lines. In case you're opening the wall with two parallel lines and you don't want to have the soft part because you don't have a soul breacher, or your soul breacher is all aim no brain ash main, or slide with a pistol and shotgun, you will have to connect these two parallel lines with another two. You have to close the hole, any shape you want. The reason behind that is the soft part won't be able to be attached to anything, therefore will fall on the ground. Let's talk about another way of using torch to open the big something holes. As stated for already third time, when opening the wall, you don't want to be exposed. That is a motivation for the next trick. Opening bottom part of the wall, then top part of the wall, whilst rappelling upside down for the whole time. You are then not exposed at all, unless they throw a C4 through your top holes, which is close to impossible to do. That never happened in the Pro League. Example taken on the Club House, and with this Maverick trick, it is recommended to have someone watching your bottom hole for the freebies if defenders are trying to contest your Maverick that is actually repelling. Well, this only works for exterior walls, because you have to repel. If you want to be super safe, then doing the parallel lines on far top side, and after that, open just above the crouch level, will give you the maximum safety. Example taken on Villa's Thatcher walls. Keep in mind that when doing the top line, you still want to shoot at the reinforcement, and not above the reinforcement. Also with this, you can have safer cover and vaultable pickable hole if you want to cover something. You can pair it up with a crouch hole on the right side if you want to plan and then immediately go behind the hull reinforcement. And this can really be used on pretty much every single map, but it will cost your torch a bit more. I will give you some cool tricks behind the torch in a bit, but we still didn't touch the top of opening hatches, two of them with 4.5 to 5 canister of torch consistently. There are three different shapes that I will recommend you doing. A T shape, which starts by the middle, double line, both start from the middle near the squares, and then to the bottom. And when you did both lines, one more line is required to be opened. This one will be the second most safest, and the second most quickest, as from the middle you'll be hardly picked. The next shape is L shape. It is important that you never yourself stop using the torch, but only when you use all of the munition. This advice is also for any other way to open the hatches, because when you start using the blowtorch, the first couple of milliseconds you're not destroying anything but you're wasting your fuel. This is the most quickest way to open, however, you're kind of too exposed when doing so, and be careful not to drop from the hatch. The slowest and also the safest way is a C shape when proning. Simply make line from one corner to another corner. For all ways of opening hatches, make sure to destroy the edges. No reinforcement part shall be left by the edges. Like this. Don't leave these edges. Now, let's deal with Kaid. As I said, he partially counters Kaid. When the hatch is electroclawed, then you're forced to use C-shape, unless you want to eat loads of damage and scream as a girl. How to deal with claws on walls like on the CC of Clubhouse on electroclaw. You definitely won't be able to do it while repelling, so opening it with two parallel lines is a must. Let's see the Twitch clip of Goga opening it, and I will describe what is happening behind it. He's opening the top, above his head, so he is not exposed. He didn't hear that the metal dropped, therefore he has to find what did he miss, and he shows the part that was lacking. And this part. Now he heard it drop, therefore he can start opening the bottom part, being aware of the angles. As you can see, Fabian on far back is watching the angle toward the hallway, and Kanto will watch the angle in the cache whilst Goga is opening the vault, and that's how you usually open the vault. If you were solo queuing, I would recommend you opening with the angle on the garage side, as it's most likely that no one will be there, whereas someone could be prone peeking you from the hallway where Fabian was watching. Now, the usual question is, do I open peek holes or peak lines, depending on what you want to do. If you know the location of the enemy and you know that he's not aware of you, like he's building the with your teammate, then go for the holes, such as on the bank. If your team is pushing from the lobby to tellers and you're inside of the open, you can use door to peak hole or holes in the admin to deny both of the usual defender places in the archives. On the other hand, use lines, you can use them on multiple heights like 2 different head level and crouch level when you want to get back to these angles to contest the defenders. Lines are really strong once you get the information where defenders are, as you have all the advantage in the lines and you can easier see the target with the peak lines, like by the construction to the cache walls of Club House. With the line you pretty much clear the whole CC. Drone is your best partner when doing peak calls and peak line. And obviously it would be way better with the teammates. Let's go for the random tricks. Going silently through any barricade is possible. Do you know the 1 millivolt trick? Yep, you probably do. Hit that spot once with a torch and then go 3 lines below and hit that spot. When you do it, as I will do it now, you can go through the barricade without any sound. Works even with the double barricades, over here and below here. You don't need to ADS. Our next trick will be using crouch hold at places that defenders cannot see, just like on this clubhouse church place. This place actually won G2 around against Force, as you will be able to see right now.
But he's able to beat it out against Kanto, and slowly crouching his way in will be Goga as he pushes his way in behind the black box. Another one for him as Uno tags on. One member left is Shockwave, and behind the blue box, being swarmed from all sides. G2.
Moving on, the next trick will be baiting Bandit to your Claymore, as Claymores can go through the Maverick hole. Simply place a Claymore, open the hole with the Maverick, and profit. Be aware not to kill yourself with the Claymore. Continuing, as you could destroy the half of the wall, you can also destroy half of the hatch. This was used in the Pro League, more precisely the open hatch in the bank. That way, you are using less canisters to open side towards the red where is Mira, or a C4, and if you don't have plans to jump off the hatch, then there is no point opening the hatch fully, right? Sometimes it is, because then defenders have to worry about that angle. If you want to keep your bloater for something else, it can be useful. Last but not least, the vaultable hole can be made by the side of the wall, so you do not waste your torch for the full circle but for a C shape. However, you will have to get rid of the saw part, and you can get rid of the saw part beforehand or after. This is recommended for the rush push only. People usually say that Fuse really loves Castle. Well, I tend to disagree, because whenever I'm Maverick, I really love to see Castle, because when I open 1 or 2 peak holes by the Castle barricade, I will usually get a kill. Thatcher vs Maverick. Thatcher is actually a counter to Maestro and many other stuff that Maverick isn't, like Pose, Yokai, Valkyrie, blah blah blah. Whereas Maverick is totally nullifying bandit tricking. Thatcher cannot stop bandit to bandit trick. So these two operators are different. They have in common to non-MU jammers, and that's pretty much it. So don't compare these two. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any feedback, let me know down in the comment section below. If you would like to support me, drop me a like, subscribe and click the notification bell not to miss any video from my channel. Make sure to join my Discord server and to follow me on Twitter.